Thank you. Welcome to my hometown of Livingston. And I want to thank our sponsors. Most importantly, I want to thank you because you are what this election is all about. I'm new to politics. Like many of you, I just try to work hard, provide the best I could for my family. And we've all know how challenging that has become of late. Because at times like these, you really feel the burdening, crushing of our property taxes, government spending, soaring government debt. How did this all happen? I have to be honest with you, before January, I had no idea who John McKeon or Mila Jasey were. I was a regular voter. I'd go and I'd vote, but focused on the larger elections, I did not know who our Assembly representatives were. And when I learned more, it moved me to run for office. You see, our senior Assemblyman, John McKeon, is in many ways the poster child of what's wrong with New Jersey politics. Like many of our state legislators from both parties, he is steeped in conflicts of interest, a form of legalized corruption that is the core of our problems. And this is the problem that happens on both sides of the aisle, by the way, and here's exactly how it works. Our tax dollars are used to reward certain special interests. Our special interests who receive tax dollars use that money to bankroll candidates, get into office, keep piling on the spending, all paid for by us. And that is why we have difficulty with our legislators who will put an end to it. Conflicts of interest is something Mark and I have decided to stay away from. But it's the conflicts of interest that allows McKeon to hold on, to flaunt the will of the people and hold on to his job as mayor of West Orange as well as his Assembly seat. It's a culture of corruption that allows Mr. McKeon and Ms. Jasey to help Dick Cody take $1 million of our money to give himself a personal tax break in the town of Roseland. Mark and I want property tax relief for everyone, not just special people. It's also the culture of corruption that draws McKeon to, as he said, his signature event, his defining moment, the open space bond issue. I urge you to read this book, The Soprano State. That bond issue is fraud, from the reason we need it to where the money goes. This book is rife with anecdotes about it. Now, don't believe me, check it out. It's also the culture of corruption that allows McKeon to toy with developers adversely affected by the high-paying lines and tell them, hey, you didn't know the right people. As for Ms. Jasey, I believe she wants to be a representative of the people. I really do. But she's trapped by the system. And she said she was handed her job in Board of Ed. She's handed her job basically by the machine for the Assembly. Her husband earns $140,000 working for Governor Corzine. Her voting record follows that. She is hostage to them. What we need to do, and what this election to me is about, are citizens like you and me standing up and taking our government back to the people. So people of good intentions like her can represent us. As for me, no one asked me to do this. I'm not a party loyalist. I think Republicans are as much of the problem as Democrats are. They've been barely active in my own candidacy, and if I win, that means I don't owe anything to either party, just you, the way it should be. I look forward to learning more. So I'll learn more.
And then Mr. Mark Meyerowitz.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming out tonight. And I would like to thank also the League of Women Voters and AAUW for having this wonderful event. And the reason why I'm really running is property taxes. I know my wife and I work very hard to pay our property taxes, and it's a struggle. And we've given up things that we would like to do, and the donations that we would like to give to charities or join the synagogue that we would like to join, which we don't do. So it's affecting all of us. And everywhere I go in the district, whether I'm in a wealthy area or if I'm in a poorer area, whether I'm talking to someone who's black or white, or whether they live in the Woodlands in West Orange, which is a high-income district area, or if I'm on Main Street in Orange, everyone is complaining about their property taxes, and everybody is struggling. And it doesn't matter. It's a myth to say that people in Newark or Orange or East Orange are not having trouble with their property taxes. They are, just like people in West Orange and Livingston. And it's a real tragedy because virtually every day when I'm out campaigning and canvassing and trying to meet people, somebody will come up to me or I'll knock on their door and they say, you know, I've lived in West Orange for 55 years and my parents lived in this house and I can't afford to live here anymore. And that's what they say. I can't afford to live here anymore. And they're really stuck. And this is a tragedy, and it's almost becoming a case of immorality, because the government is forcing millions of people out of their homes. And the reason this is happening is pretty simple. The government is spending much too much money on God knows what, and they're just coming back to the taxpayers for more money. Now, last week, the candidate for lieutenant governor on the Democratic side, Weinberg, said in the debate that taxes in New Jersey are too high. And a year ago, I heard Democratic Senator Frank Lautenberg, when he was running for election, he said in the Caldwell Synagogue, God knows taxes are too high in New Jersey. And these are two Democrats who are correct. They understand the problem. And the problem is, right here, we keep voting for, Mr. McKeon and Ms. Jasey keep voting for tax increases. I have right here a list of 115 taxes that Mr. McKeon voted for to raise as state assemblyman in the past 8 years. And in the past 2 years, Ms. Jasey has voted for 15 tax increases. And just last week, Governor Corzine has said he's going to start pushing another $1 billion in taxes. He's going to extend some taxes, and he wants to raise the tax on gasoline. So where is it going to end? And if I were sitting in the audience tonight, I would ask the two incumbents, if the governor is reelected and he wants to propose more tax increases, will you vote for those tax increases? Because we have to stay in our homes. All of us need to live and work and to afford to stay in New Jersey. Thank you.
And thank you. So now we're going to move to the prepared questions. And the candidates each will have 2 minutes to respond. And I'm going to start with you, Mr. Funt. And the first question is, how would you control state spending to lower the deficit in New Jersey?
Okay, yes, there are a lot of hard decisions that have to be made. And as I said before, it needs to be made by people free of conflicts of interest who can have those conversations. We added 15 public sector jobs for every one private sector job during the last several years, which means we've shrunk our tax base. Okay, if everyone's working for the government, who's left to pay taxes? People who are not. Now, if you can move people off the state payroll and start lowering taxes to create private sector jobs, that has a tremendous impact on the tax base, right? Because obviously, any private sector tax increase is additive to the base. We need to create incentives for our state workers to reduce the budgets. Right now, the play is you have the budget, you got to keep trying to spend it. What I'd rather do, if we need to get a salary decreases, but perhaps a bonus incentive. That if you can bring in your department under budget, then we can share a portion of that to give bonuses to our employees. We need our state workers to be mindful that these are our tax dollars at work, and we need to give them incentives to save, not to spend. Pension reform is vital. We need to get to that. Our pension system is a mess. It's broken. It's unfunded, and it's too easy. McKeon, of course, collects 2 pensions in his 2 jobs as our taxes go up. I think we need to get part-time employees off the pension system. We just need to make it much more rational. And more importantly, again, is conflicts of interest. If I am on the floor of the Assembly, I promise you this, any spending measure that is up for vote, I will call out the legislators on both sides of the aisle who received campaign contributions from the recipients of those dollars, and I will ask them to recuse themselves. And if we had that, John wouldn't have voted on a lot the last several years.
Thank you.